It's all part of us. We can all choose love.
I've definitely seen an attitude adjustment in my child since the Choose Love program has been initiated at her school. Definitely for Owen, I think the compassion in action has most impacted her. Every time someone's in trouble or someone's hurt or someone's grieving, she is the first to go to them and to offer help, or just a hand on the shoulder or a hug or whatever it is. And I've never seen her do that before. And it's just amazing that our kids are that thoughtful of other people.
Absolutely. So my son was in the Choose Love program for 2 years, and he is now in 7th grade at an intermediate school. And at this school, a couple weeks ago, we discovered that he was being cyberbullied. And, it's people calling him names, and I say this is the happy cry. It was just the stuff that everything we read about, everything that, call the principal, call somebody, your initial reaction. And when we confronted him about it, he's like, I know, that guy, I've never even spoken to him before. And, I don't care, Mom, just delete it. I'm going, no, this needs to be blah, blah, blah. And right then and there, my son never is combative towards us. And just to see that he was really caring about the other kid first, I said, you know what, fine. Do you mind if I reach out to the kid and talk to him? Something's got to be done on our end. And he's like, that's fine, but do not get him in trouble. Fine. I went about it, texting this kid that had just, slaughtered my son online. And lo and behold, the kid calls, as I had gently asked. And we talked it out, this 8th grader and I, that at the end of it was apologizing. He didn't understand. He was being bullied at school too. And at the end of it, it's just like, hey dude, you've got my number. Call if you need. Within 3 to 5 minutes from that, the kid goes on there and he starts following my son. That in itself is a whole nother thing of where the generation of the kids are. But for my son, again, he was like, you see, he's not a bad guy, is he? And that was eye-opening for both of us, because we are here hounding this kid, our son, to, we're gonna get it done. And he's like, hey, you're talking about hurting someone else's feelings. So with that, like I said, I did want to just piggyback off of this, because this basically sums up, my son that I'm always questioning, and I know I attribute it to Choose Love. So although we can't always choose what happens to us, we can always choose how to respond. You just learn so much from kids. Children can learn to choose a loving thought over an angry one. When a child realizes that they have the power to positively impact themselves, as well as those around them, it is empowering and perpetuates their positive actions and interactions. Like, we learned that from our kid through Choose Love. So, happy cry, as I say. But, really great stuff.
Well, my youngest is in kindergarten, so this is his first time in a real school environment, and I've seen a lot of the challenges that I think is typical in kindergarten, just frustration. A lot of things are overwhelming. He's very little, and his big brother has been able to help him sort of implement the topics that they discuss through the Choose Love program, like gratitude and kindness and I forget what was the first one. Compassion. Courage. The courage breath that they do was really useful to my son in the very beginning of the year. So I do think that they help each other implement the techniques that they've learned.
I feel that the biggest changes are not necessarily in their behavior, but how they handle situations, and probably honestly the way that they remind me to modify my behavior when I need the check.
I'm not sure so much attitude changes as attitude reinforcements. We grew up as military kids where we were new to town all the time, and so we always had to be the new person, and it was nice to have people show, I guess it would be gratitude. We showed gratitude by having the people come to us. Kira grew up military, and we've taught her to be the one that goes and talks to other kids. I think that's a bit of courage for her because she's got to meet all the new kids and doing that. And I think that's also the compassion in action that Choose Love demonstrates or teaches.
Yes, my son is very anxious at bedtime, and one thing that has helped from the Choose Love program is brave breaths. And so he will do brave breaths at bedtime, and that's something that's kind of gone into our regular routine. And so it's just more of him taking the time to step back and kind of evaluate his surroundings and think about, am I really anxious, or do I just need to stop and be still for a little bit? And so I've noticed that's a big thing, is brave breaths for him.
Yeah, so my daughter wants to reach out to kids more in her class that she notices are having a bad day or are new to the school and might not have immediate friends. She always comes home and she tells me about new kids. There have been new kids really recently, and so she's reached out to them at lunch or during a free break. So that's something different because she usually always wants to hang out with her own friends generally. And then my son tends to see also kind of the same things. If someone's having a bad day, he wants to bring them to our house. That's been fun. But it's just nice to see them, seeing kids that might be hurting or recognizing behavior that's not as appropriate and then responding in kind to that.
Hey, 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 oh. It's all part of us. We can all choose love.